Good morning, everybody. This is Rabbi Andrew, the Rabbinic Cynic, coming to you live from Palm Desert, California. I set the schedule of when it started wrong, because that's what I do sometimes. It's called being ADHD. I am very ADHD, but that's all good. I didn't even play the theme music. You want to hear the theme music? So, it is Friday. We're in November. It's Erev Shabbat. Yeah, Siri even agrees that it's Friday. I want to talk a little bit today about Abraham today, because part of my show is every Friday, since we read the biblical Torah portion, we go through the cycle every week. And the first is the book of Genesis, and we start with the creation narrative. We go to Noah, and then we get to Abraham. Now, Abraham is considered the father of the monotheistic religions, the father of Christianity, of Judaism, of Islam, and part of that blueprint for the modern world, the way that the faith of the modern world. He was the first one, so to speak, that understood what does it mean to believe in one unifying force that surrounds everything and comes through everything. No, I'm just kidding. There's an interesting story in the story of Noah. And it says, Lech lecha mi'artzecha mi'moladecha mi'beit avicha, that you shall go for yourself from the land of your birthplace, from your father's home. And it's always very kind of a terse text. Why did Abraham just suddenly get up and leave? And so there's this little story. It's called a midrash. Right? These little stories that they do, these like behind the scenes origin stories of the biblical stories. And the story, it's very famous, and it's that Terach, who was Abraham's father, said, he was an idol maker, and Abraham got to this point, realized that he didn't understand what bowing down to these figures was all about. And he went and smashed his father's idols. When his father came in, he put the baseball bat that he used, or maybe it was a cricket bat he used to smash the idols, and into the idol hands. Says, I didn't do it; they did it. Right? So kind of highlighting the ridiculousness of the whole thing of idol worship, so to speak. But there's a very interesting idea: was Abraham really the first one that set him off on that journey? And if you look back at the Torah portion before, right at the end of the book of Noah, it talks about Terach. It goes down through the different generations, so to speak, until you get to Terach, Abraham's father. And it shows that Terach also was kind of this wandering Jew, had this wandering Jew mentality. And Abraham and Terach took his family and they moved themselves. So it wasn't really Abraham that moved away to Israel. In the end, Abraham moved to the land of Israel. But Terach started them on this journey. That Abraham's father started them on this journey. So what is it that we learn from this? What do we learn about the fact that even though Terach is considered to be this idol worshiper, idol maker, he was like the Elon Musk of idols in his day. Elon Musk, that's a whole nother story, which we'll talk about on Tuesday. I won't talk about that. But Abraham took it one step further. And I think there's a very important reason why Terach Abraham's father is mentioned first as the one that started the journey, and Abraham continued the journey. And it's to remind us that no matter how much we necessarily want to escape our parents, and that's a very natural Freudian concept, is that we move from our parents' house. Anyone with kids, when you were a kid, there's a certain point you get where you can't live in your parents' house anymore. And that's the same with Abraham and Terach. But at the same time, the Torah is trying to tell us that Abraham still had to remember where he came from to understand where you're going. And I think that's a very important aspect to the journey of Abraham, why he's the father of the monotheistic religions, is this concept of understanding the past to live in your present so that you can live for the future and for the present. And that was really represented in what Abraham was all about. Abraham is all about living in that present, sitting out in, where after he got his first Brit at 13. Ow, that was really, ouch, that hurts. No, he wasn't 13. Ishmael was 13, but Abraham was a lot older when he had his Brit. But even after he was recovering from the surgery, he went out there to greet people. He kind of recognized that you have to be a leader, you have to be a figure, but you also have to remember history. You have to remember where you came from. You represent those values, even if you don't necessarily agree with all of the values of your parents, they still go into making who you are today. And if you forget that, sometimes you forget where you come from. Sometimes we spend so much time running away from who we are that we really forget. We really forget that there are aspects that we may not like, but there are aspects that we do like that we're ignoring that can actually make us better human beings. So that is my little talk for this week's Torah portion for Lech Lecha. I'm going to be doing in-person Torah classes coming up soon. We had one last week. I'm going to be doing another one at Jay's Deli in Palm Desert, and I'll give you the date for that as that comes up. We do this through Desert Outreach Synagogue. I'm one of the associate rabbis there. And it's a big shout out to Rabbi Jules King, who came, and Rabbi Dr. Jules King. So Rabbi King, if you're watching, hi. That's it for my little Shabbat talk. I know I talked on Tuesday a little bit about the Israeli election. BB won. Put in your comments what you think about that. Are you happy BB won? Are you sad BB won? We know he's built a fairly right-wing coalition. Just anecdotally, I spoke to my family in Israel, and there was some split votes there in my family as well. I'm not gonna, for my parents' privacy, I'm not gonna say who or my sister, I'm not gonna say who they voted for. Okay, guys, I'm gonna respect that. But it's an interesting time. It's an interesting time to watch, see what happens. And all I want to say to American Jews out there is that Israel is our homeland. It's the homeland of the Jewish people. And it's no matter who is in the government there, you as a Jew have a right to disagree or not disagree with the policies of the Israeli government. This is your country as well. And I'll be interested to hear what people think about the transition of power. I'll be covering this over the next couple of weeks as we kind of explain the process as someone that has lived there and experienced the process. I believe I even have a friend of mine from rabbinical school who is now a member of the Knesset, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if he won his primary. Rabbi David Fine, if you're out there, you see this podcast, did you win? I'm curious. I got to find it out somewhere. I'm sure there's somewhere to find what the slate is. He was in the religious Zionist bloc. Again, it's a wide bloc, so I want to explain a little bit about why necessarily some of the far extremes of that bloc don't necessarily represent the entire bloc itself. It's kind of a way of that's for a conversation for Tuesday. I'll leave you that for Tuesday to think about that a little bit. So with that, I want to wish you live long and prosper, and Shabbat Shalom. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. This is the Rabbinic signing out, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Bye.